fuck are you talking about?
You got a dirty cop on the squad. Let's go arrest his ass.
No.
Whoever took him from me is gonna pay. Bottom line.
Who was it? We will not stop until we get this guy. In order to make the streets safe, we had to get just as dirty as those animals.
Wait.
What's next? To the top.
Welcome back, Top Notch Gang, to another video. We just had a crazy return episode for season 4 of Power Book 2 Ghost with episode 6, and with that we have a lot to break down and explain going forward. But for this video I want to start with Detective Don Carter, because we saw in the last episode he did kill Kamal Tate after Kamal Tate threatened to basically expose his organization for being dirty. He caught one of his officers in the act, did some more research. We all kind of predicted and saw this coming, and now that's gonna boil over into episode 7, as we saw in the preview, the return of Rashaad Tate. But also Carter is framing someone for this murder. I'm gonna break down who this possibly could be. Will it be one of the main characters, side character? He's gonna try to get rid of Rashaad Tate at all costs though, and how I think it might connect to Tariq, Diana, the mission they have to go on together that we saw Carter having them at gunpoint in episode 7. So leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, before we get into the framing part and the proof of that and who it's gonna be, quickly reiterate what took place in episode 6. Carter went and pressed Monet about who were they stealing the product from, the product that they stole in the mid-season finale, and she basically didn't want to set on Noma, so she told him it was the Russians. So he gets his task force together, said they're gonna infiltrate the Russians' little place, and she told him the Russians not going for that bullshit. It's gonna be a shootout, and it for sure was. They got the upper hand, the police that is, and one of the guys, he surrenders, but Kamal Tate catches one of Carter's men, still killing him in cold blood, and also taking a bag of cash that he never logged into evidence. Now, with this happening, Kamal Tate also needed further proof, so he went and saw that the Zay guy that stole the product with Drew and Monet that ended up getting shot when they told him to freeze, he survived and he was in jail. So they went and arrested Drew at the beginning of this episode, put him in jail so that he could kill Zay, and of course he did it. Kamal Tate looked into this, realized the same guy who killed the dude in cold blood was the same person who arrested Drew, was his booking officer, and Drew happened to be in an infirmary at the same time as Zay. He put 2 and 2 together. He's like, this guy is dirty. He takes all this information he knows and brings it to Carter and is telling Carter, we need to go arrest him. And Carter, he's like, nah, we not doing that. This nigga like, what the fuck you talk about? No. And then he starts telling a backstory about his wife, how he did about his mom, and you can just see Kamal Tate shaking his head because he know he on some bullshit every time he starts telling a fucking backstory. But nonetheless, he tries to convert Tate over to his side, telling him, hey, we're actually getting shit done. It might not be the way we always want it, but it's what actually works. And he says, I could give you money. Kamal talking about, I need some time with this, but Carter know he bullshitting, takes out his gun and shoots him immediately. And obviously this is gonna lead into episode 7 with Rashaad Tate returning. So let's talk about that. Now, of course, we all knew Rashaad Tate was returning from a previous trailer, but now with the new episode 7 preview that we received, we get more of that. We see him with his brother's body, and we hear him specifically say that whoever took him from me is gonna pay.
Took him from me is gonna pay. Bottom line.
Now he's also asking Don Carter in this scene who was it? And Carter, all he responds with is, they're gonna get the job done. They're not gonna rest and they're not gonna stop till they catch the person.
Who was it? We will not stop until we get this guy.
Now, the thing about Rashaad Tate is he a bullshitter. He could smell bullshit from other people. It takes one to know one. It was the same with him and Ghost, him and Tariq, him and Professor Milgram, all of them. He knows a bullshitter when he sees one, and I think he's gonna be able to sniff that out of Carter. What is the extent that he's willing to go with this investigation and make sure his brother's killer is actually brought down? We have to wait and see. We don't know how many appearances he's necessarily gonna have, but at the very least, we do know Carter is gonna try to get Councilman Tate off his back, and that leads us into the framing job. We overhear Carter once again in this trailer telling the girl cop we're all at risk now.
We're all at risk now.
This could be referencing two things, obviously the Tate kill coming back on them, but also the Diana situation. We're gonna go more in depth with that in tomorrow's video. Expect that Sunday. We already see in the episode 7 preview, Carter and the other dirty nigga, once again I'm never gonna remember his name, the white nigga, they go on a mission kicking this door, and we see Carter in an exclusive clip shoot at that door and then place a gun in one of the dead body's hands. Now, if you look closely, it actually is the same gun that Carter used to shoot Kamal Tate that he's putting in this person's hand. Now, I just realized it wasn't the same doors. I hope I edited that in, so I don't know if those two scenes are the same or taking place at the same time, but it definitely is the same gun. I think Carter is smart enough not to use his actual police officer firearm, so he's gonna be able to place this gun on someone else. But that brings me to the reveal of who this person could be. At this point, it doesn't look like it's any of our main characters. Obviously Drew was in jail, can't really frame Kane, shit like that. It's gonna be impossible to pin it on someone of importance, but also I don't think Rashaad Tate will take lightly to just it being a random person that they place the gun on and catch. Once again, he could smell bullshit from a mile away. He's not gonna settle for this if they just place it on a random person. But once again, Carter is smarter than that as well, so I think he's gonna make the circumstances worthwhile and actually make sense. A lot of people think this is how he connects it back to Tariq. I think a lot is going to have to do with more so the footage he has of Tariq killing Zion. Once again, we're going to talk about that in a future video, but currently I really don't know who is the person he's gonna pin this on. It feels kind of awkward or weird if he pin it on a random character like I said, but pinning it on one of the main characters also doesn't make sense in my opinion. I have to see how it actually takes place within the story. The episode 7 description, I can't fix this, doesn't really give us too much to work off either. Talking about Tariq and the Tejadas are set to avenge what they've lost. Obviously this is more focused on Diana being in the hospital, how they retaliate for that. We're going to talk about that in another video as well. And then the second half does talk about Drew taking out a threat to Carter's organization, but as we learned in the last episode, that is obviously going to be Roman at this point. We heard Roman in jail talking to the feds that he's going to give up Carter and his organization, and we heard Drew make a deal with that white cop nigga that he wants to be a lieutenant, he wants to have power and control as long as he takes out Roman for them. So we don't really get a lot of clues and details there. I want you guys to let me know your opinion down below on who it is that Carter is framing, because obviously based off these clues and details, exclusive scenes that I showed you, it's gonna be someone. But once again, if it's a random person, do you guys really believe Rashaad Tate is just gonna take his word for it and just be done with the situation? I think there would be no point in him returning at all. I think he's gonna play a much bigger role, maybe in the downfall of Carter and his organization. He smells bullshit, he's gonna pick up on it right away. I think him and Tariq possibly work together once again, as well with Monet, to break down Carter in the end. Overall though, that's it for this video. I think I pieced a lot of the information together, especially from the exclusive clips. Like I said, we know he is gonna frame someone. Who it is gonna be very interested to see. I did mention that Drew is gonna start working with him. Maybe he has an idea of how they can make this whole situation work out, but Carter is basically the final boss for everyone. With the video he has of Tariq, him taking out Kamal Tate, and now Rashaad Tate might be his enemy, the control he has over Monet, Monet, Diana, the rest of the Tatas. He's basically the final boss, the last one standing. He's making all the moves on the chessboard currently. They're all gonna be gunning for him, and I think he's gonna make one mistake too many as the season just continues to go on. The rest of his group, this task force, all of them like gotta die slow, like they gotta get popped. We're gonna talk about the lady cop in the Diana video tomorrow, but they won't be around too much longer. Once again, you guys let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.